Hello, and welcome to Harmonia Seminary. My name is Alethea Thompson, and I will be guiding you through this lecture.
In 1971, Professor Philip Zimbardo launched the now infamous Stanford Prison Experiment, where students at the university were assigned roles as either prisoners or prison guards, leaving him as the superintendent of the prison. It turned into a fiasco. The prison guards and even Professor Zimbardo later looked upon the experiment and recognized what monsters they had become simply because they were not checked. They even noted that prison guards who did not engage in the same activities as the most dangerous guards had did not speak up on behalf of the prisoners. About 3 years later, in 1974, Stanley Milgram of Yale University conducted a different experiment to see how people reacted to an authority figure insisting they apply punishment in the form of electrical shocks to another person. People which participated in the experiment would go as far as to, quote unquote, kill the person on the other side of the glass. These two experiments have been used to defend the 2003 National Guardsmen of the 800th MP Brigade, which watched detainees Abu Ghraib. Whatever conclusions you draw, there is one thing that cannot be denied in any of these three circumstances. All of these people demonstrated a lack of personal responsibility. The Jedi Compass defines the virtue responsibility as being the heart of learning to overcome our problems. A Jedi should be held responsible for all of their actions. Without it, we cannot grow, we cannot help others, and we cannot justify why we are to be taken seriously. As was the case in the three different scenarios spoken of 2 slides ago, the people involved saw themselves as being detached from what was going on. It wasn't them as individuals doing what they were doing it. It was for the experiment or for an authority figure. But being a responsible person means that you own what you are doing. If others see you doing something for someone else, rather than because you actually believe in it, they do not see you anymore. Instead, they see the puppet master behind you. The puppet master does not have to be a real person either. It can be abstract, such as disorganization or a lack of self-control. Although most people would consider being responsible important for one's reputation, it goes further than that. Being responsible can help one avoid getting sucked into drama or into an abusive relationship. By becoming a responsible person, you are increasing your awareness of what your role is in every interaction you have. You start to make decisions based on what the most likely outcomes are going to be, rather than what you hope they will be. Thus, the first step to becoming a responsible person is to have a healthy understanding of cause and effect. Possibly the most difficult step in becoming a responsible person is learning that you cannot blame others for what happens to you. Nor should you look to blame circumstances and or obstacles. Instead, you should be inspired to overcome everything and recognize you are in control of your life. Some characteristics of responsible people are not as apparent as others. We think of responsible people as being the kind that do not break promises, unless extraordinary circumstances arise. And even then, we expect them to tell us they cannot keep their promise. We also think of people that are punctual, but one that might not be so clear is that a responsible person recognizes trust is earned. They have to know what they're getting into before they commit to anything. This is a trait of someone who is a good critical thinker and has awareness of their emotional state. They do not judge someone or an idea upon initial engagements, but after careful consideration. Being responsible and holding yourself accountable for your actions ties directly into self-awareness. The Jedi path is one that requires service to others, but we cannot help anyone if we are not responsible for our actions and seen as being responsible by others. By presenting a demeanor that is not responsible, we run people off, or they tend to want to run to the people that are puppeting us because they're more in control of what happens than we ourselves are. Thank you for joining me, and may the force guide your path.